Everybody, this is Dawn here for just a quick video. And forgive my appearance. I just got out of the hot tub over here and just had the most truly deeply moving, beautiful, I don't even know what to call it. It was not a vision so much as a glimpse into what is materializing right now. And I was actually having just sort of a lighthearted conversation with my guides, to include Yeshua, Jesus, and he reminded me of the scene from a few weeks ago, I believe, maybe a week. I've lost track of time. You can go look at whenever I posted that poem called Through the Gates. He took me back to that, and the river, the crystal river that flowed between the trees, and he reminded me how I could see the reflection in the river, which was really super deep, but like we were walking across it. It was very cool. And he reminded me of the reflection, and he drew my attention to something that I think I saw it before, I just didn't understand it fully, and that was that the reflection of the trees and the fruit that was on the trees, which were representative of twins and union, the reflection of that was in this river, and I guess at that time I didn't really realize that the river, it was an eternal river, and the reflections themselves were like, I think I did mention in my previous video that the river, it was like light was running through the river and like DNA strands, and I knew that there was healing. It was, as the scripture says, the healing of the nations, and that's found throughout scripture in many places. So you can look that up, and I might do a follow-up video, but I just really wanted to share the image right now with you. And he showed me how this was now, this was happening now, as so many, just by the sheer reconnection and reunion, to the degree that is happening, and in whatever way it is happening, that things are being activated right now, that healing is flowing forth right now to all humanity. And it was just so beautiful. And in this the river, again, it's the same thing that I saw, when I had this experience of walking through these gates, and gates, I use that term loosely. That was just the term that was used. And I'll link to my previous video at the end of this one. But it was just so immensely powerful and beautiful. He showed me how, and the other guides that were there as well, showed me how that it's happening now, and this will only increase, and that for this long journey that we've been on, and those of us who have felt that we've carried pieces for the collective, or been healing or transmuting in a particular way, some of us for years, and that shifted for me. It shifted, I know, in terms of how that looks, and my experience of it has certainly shifted, thank goodness. And while I had a rough couple of days last week, in general, overall, it's so beautiful, because I see it, and I hope you see it, and feel the I'm trying to think of the right word. It's not gravity, because it has a negative connotation, and it's the opposite of being held down. It is like this powerful. It's like winds of change, but again, it's this river that is full of, and what's happening too is what the reflection of. It's the more authenticity that is being embodied by both divine feminine and divine masculine, and then the union itself, when that comes firmly, is rooted and grounded into place in on our earthly reality, then the fruits of the trees will, will blossom all the more. And that reflection, that was the other thing, the reflection of the fruits that were on the trees became like really robust and full, and just, it's like every single reflection was like a little molecule of pure unconditional love of God in there, right there. And it was just being sent out and sent out and sent out. And it was this endless, beautiful, like I said, healing of the nations, or healing of humanity. And this is happening right now. So much love.